All right. So, let's see here. Internet's still complaining, but I did do adaptive bitrate, so hopefully that'll help. I don't know why it's complaining. I don't care at this point, just so long as it's watchable. So, today we will be doing some comic work, but we're going to be doing it a little bit later because I feel like doing some illustration. Hello, fake news fish. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Happy to have you stop by. All right, so for what's going on today, I'm actually going to look up some reference. Because I really want, it's really complicated, simple treehouse. Like a really simple, oh my word, these are not simple treehouse interiors, good grief. Oh shoot. Shoot, I forgot to do the vertical side. There we go. Thanks for letting me know that, by the way. But like I said, it's good to have you by. Stopping by. Hope you've been doing well. These are like really complicated tree houses. That's more of what I'm looking for. Hold on. My word. Okay, I might have to wing it. Small. I remember you. Okay. Let's go ahead and put the TV in though. Yeah, we'll keep that like that. This here will kind of flop down like so. What comic is this? This is not a comic per se. It's my plans for this is it's going to be obviously illustrated, But I am separating out all of the different elements. For example, the kids are on their own layer. Wicker here is on his own layer. And the whole idea is that I'm going to slightly animate it. It'll be kind of like a wallpaper, like an animated wallpaper kind of deal. Also, hello, Black Rob. Hope you're doing well. So I'm planning on and let's actually have it. Kind of making it look cool, setting it to music like what we're listening to right now. And so there's not going to be like a ton of movement or anything like that. It's just going to be some like effects and maybe some like flickering light or something like that. Just to give it kind of a mood is really what it's going to be going for. I'm gonna turn view on so I have an idea of what the floor plane is. I'm probably gonna do it in Blender as well, so there'll be that. I don't know when I'll be able to get around to it though. Eventually I'm going to be doing some illustration on the comic here when I feel up to it. The page that I've been working on has been a headache though. For no real reason, it's just mostly been I've been kind of down and out these last few days, honestly. There are many times when I was like, okay, I'm going to get it done today, and that did not happen. Have I watched Arcane? I've not. Oxygen donor is a funny name for a membership. Well, when you're on the moon, you know. I had other ideas for different tiers, like Cheese Lender. But I figure I need to actually offer stuff with the tiers before I start making them. It's on Netflix. I actually don't have Netflix. I haven't had Netflix for years. I've heard good things about it, but I don't know. Truth be told, it doesn't really look like my thing, honestly. I don't know. I'm really not a big fan of the look of a lot of games like League of Legends and stuff like that. And I know like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you don't have to be into League of Legends to enjoy it. And, you know, I 100% believe that, but still, it's still the art and stuff like that just isn't really my thing in a lot of ways. If I have Prime Video, well, I don't have Prime Video either. I don't watch a lot of shows and such. I've kind of like been whatever on a lot myself. I've heard that it's really good. It's just kind of funny to me though, because a lot of the stuff described as being really good is pretty basic stuff when it comes to writing. Like, oh, the characters have motivations and they're all like interacting in the world, and they're, you know, what they're doing and everything like that has thought put into it. And it's like, so basic character writing, okay, got it. Which, you know, I know that's a high bar nowadays, but it's just kind of funny. I'm not saying it's bad, it's very good, but there actually is that. They removed the drawing app? Oh, really? Huh. Wonder why they did that. Well, there's always paper and pencil. Though I will say, I always had a hard time with paper and pencil when I was younger. Let's see here. So we have the TV. I almost wonder if I should put the TV on its own layer. I'm going to. And the player, because why not? I'm gonna need to figure out different stuff to put into. Oops, sorry about that. Why is it being so? Oh, whoops. I made a copy of the wrong thing. All right, there we go. Delete that. Go back to the TV. Okay, there we go. We're gonna put that behind. Am I gonna draw something on the TV? No, that's why line is there. Which for all you youngins out there means that it's selected on the input, but doesn't have a picture going into it. So that is what's on the TV right now. It'll have like a soft blue glow coming off of it because, you know, older TVs, that's what you have. I suppose I could do static as well, but it wouldn't be on static because this is meant to take place obviously during a time when CRTs were still like a kind of a thing that's being handed over, but not like really old. It's not like the 80s or anything like that. This is not a TV that would have been made in the 80s. Especially considering she has a combination VHS and DVD player. And I just realized I screwed that up. Come on. Which one is it? Which one is it? That's funny. That reminds me, I've been really hankering to hook up my NES for a little bit now. I don't know, I've just been kind of wanting to play something on that. I should make a Discord server. Technically, I do have one. That is a good thank you there, West. I appreciate that. These old CRTs are always fun to draw. I technically do have a Discord server, but I don't really promote it and I don't really do much with it. I just don't really like the idea of having to manage one, honestly, personally. Technically, a friend of mine is the one who set it up for me. Maybe one of these days I'll get into it, and you know, maybe when there's a reason to do it. But I just right now it's not really something I want to put energy into. Okay, so the tricky part is I want to figure out like, so we have like rugs and stuff like that they're all like laying on and stuff, but I want to like put stuff in this scene, and one thing is this idea that there's like blankets or other things hanging from above. And then lights as well, because of course there's always got to be lights. And technically, like, I have to think about how they power this thing, and I'm gonna say it's a power strip right here, connected to a really long extension cord. It will be animated in the sense that there will be like a little bit of movement, like lights flickering, and he's in kind of this weird dream mode. So I'm gonna do like special effects on him. That's actually his physical body right there. Listen to the Meowster. I feel like I remember you there, Toxie. It's been a little while. A lot of people come through these parts, but I'm glad to have you here nonetheless. Always glad to have old and new company alike. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so a little bit longer here. And this will be right here. Actually, hold on. See, it's all powered by one little electrical strip. Well, there's not going to be any movement like that. He's just going to be standing there, because what he's actually looking at is the door there, which, if you know, that's kind of an awkward place for a door, and there's a reason for that. It's actually not a physical door. Mystery and intrigue. I just realized I'm putting this all in the kids layer. There. Let's merge the, oh dang it. Let's merge that with the TV layer. There we go. Technically I don't have to separate them, but right now anyway. But I do want to, just to make it easier on myself later. Well, I've been doing this for a while there, Toxie. But hey, the whole, what it comes down to is just figuring out kind of your own groove. It took me a while to really get comfortable with even just like sketching and such. I was always very particular with my line work. Starting out. I'm actually gonna draw Oob here. And he's gonna have his little stocking cap. Or beanie. It's actually a beanie because he's a skater kid. So see you later, kid. Is this going to be a wallpaper of some sort? It could be, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw it up on my Ko-Fi or something. I probably should start doing stuff like that, honestly. So that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of fun for people. So I could probably make the other background I did a wallpaper. It wouldn't be too hard. The main thing though is it's going to be a YouTube video when it's animated and presented and such. But it could be an animated wallpaper, which would be kind of cool. You've been drawing 9 years and you're 13? Well, hey, you still have a whole lot of life ahead of you, so... The best thing I can give advice to someone as young as you starting out is don't be afraid to live life. Don't be afraid to try different things. Because, like, what you're seeing is more than just the culmination of me drawing a lot. What you're seeing is me also learning how to learn. That's the most important thing you can learn. So that's what you should really focus on, especially at that age, is learning how to pick stuff up and do something with it. It doesn't have to be amazing, right? Like musical instruments, or maybe a different kind of software, right? Or maybe like programming or other crafts and such. Everything kind of goes together. Once you start learning how to learn, things start to fit together, and you'll actually find doing other things will make you better at those original things you set out to do. Let me see here. Hey, maybe the world needs more goofy drawings these days. But before anything, just remember, learn how to enjoy it. And keep learning how to enjoy it. That's also really important. Let's throw the rugs down on their own layer. And we're gonna have this one kind of over here, cut across. And this will be, have like little fishies on her or something, I don't know. She likes fish, so. All right, catch you later. Have a good one. Actually, more like that. Something like that. There we go, and then there's actually more roads as well. I think that's the right angle. I'm not 100% sure. This will be the fish road. I'm actually going to flatten this a touch. Like that. Hey, we appreciate lurkers around here. Truth be told, I have a very lurk-heavy stream. Always have. I don't mind it. Let's see here. Let's go back here and let's try to figure out. Let's turn this over. One thing I really want to get back into is animating cloth. Cloth is super fun to animate because it has such a natural flow to it. There's tons of stuff you can do with it. shoot. What did I put that on? Yeah, of course I put it on kids. All right. Oops. Well, the nice thing is I should be able to just grab that real quick. Extra room. Merge those. There we go. I'm actually going to have it so that this is one blanket, and we're going to have another one pinned here. That, and then underneath we'll have another blanket kind of stretching around here. Same goes for over here. So we can actually erase that. And we can erase all of that. There's also another piece I need to finish up. Hello, Julie. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. So, and we're gonna fold outward a little bit. There we go. That looks kind of cool. And I'm actually gonna put a blanket up here. That's if it's kind of resting over. And we're gonna put like little nails in to show how it's actually being held up. There we go. Okay. Okay, so the environment's coming along, which is cool. I actually want to put the little box, so we're gonna actually go up here. We're gonna say box. By the way, we're listening to something a little bit different tonight. We are listening to a artist called Etherglow. Glow spelled with a, I think it's a Nala is the term, is the name for the character. Why, I don't know. But yeah, if you look up Etherglow, you can find their stuff. Fairly easy. And then big ol' teddy bear's head, and we're actually gonna lower those two as well as the rugs. What else is in here? I'm not sure what I was trying to draw. I think it was like a bus. I think I was trying to draw a bus or something. Something like that. Hello, Aaliyah. Hope you're doing well. Just gonna turn this back up, and let me turn this off and see how things are going along. Things are coming along. Okay, so now I need to put something over here more than just his limp body. That sounds kind of dark. He's okay. He's standing right here. Where do I want to put you though? Maybe on its own layer. So let me go ahead and he has more rings on this horn than that. that big. Then all the way down. That's right. I would like to get this sketch done before moving on here. Which includes, let's do the door here. And the door will be pretty straightforward. I was wondering if I should put a little block of... Where is that in regards to the... Oh yeah, that's above the... Okay, it's... Oh, I know why. It's because this guy doesn't have... Isn't subject. So there's two vanishing points. I don't really understand. Let's go with that. Oh, what are you? What am I on? Oh, I'm on that. Something like that. Where tilt. Oh, and of course the doorknob. Like that. And then I might actually animate the blanket. Maybe. Maybe. I'll think about that. Where's the... What happened to the TV? Oh. I had it on 1%. That's... I was going to be rather disappointed if that was the case. We need a plug for the TV as well. And actually the lights too, because there's going to be lights. So let's go ahead and have this kind of snake its way back here. And then this will actually snake off this way, and it's going to be tripled up because it's lights. Speaking of, let's go back to the room. Let's finish the blanket. There's one more blanket that needs to be drawn here. And I kind of want to... I need to think about the shape. So maybe we just do kind of something like that. Something like that. Not as refined as some of these other ones, although this one is a little jank. Something like that. Well, we'll go with that. Oh, as a fun aside, though. So a friend of mine gave me an accordion. Just saying that sentence is rather entertaining, but it had a stuck note on the bass side that I realized was an open stopper. And so I managed to glue it back down. It was twisting. What was happening is it was twisting on the rod that holds it in place. So I was able to glue it back down. So now I have a, in theory, fully functioning accordion. It's in slightly rough shape, but not terrible shape, I would say. Maybe just a little rough around the edges. It's been around for a while, I can tell. So I want to see what I can do with that for some projects and such. That'd be rather fun. All right. Let's do that. Okay, so now I kind of still want to put something in that corner. How about a small little desk or something like that? Let's see what we can do with this. Oh, that's rather awkward. It would be back further. Maybe up further. Or maybe the foot would be. Oh, there-ish. Okay, let's go and switch over to the tilt brush and just kind of back over. And maybe I'll put like a couple books on here or something. With a little lamp. Yeah. There's something like that, I guess. In the corner. We're gonna put that down lower then. Actually, we don't want that on desk, we want that on room. I'll put on box this little tea kettle kind of looking thing. Actually, you know what? We'll do like this. Actually, gonna make that bigger. And I'll put a handful of drawings on the wall. And of course I put it on box. Well, whatever, I'll worry about that later. This thing. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm actually going to go to Wicker, and I'm gonna just kind of reinforce his line work a touch. Make him a bit more. Well, make him both a bit more solid and not as solid, because he's meant to be all like wispy and stuff. Truth be told, though, I'll do that post-processing, so. It probably does benefit me to do him a little bit more solid. Yeah. No, this is coming along. I'm not sure if I want to just do solid walls or if I probably do want to add the slats. So let's go ahead and do that here. Let's do design pencil. And turn that down so I can actually see where the slats are, and we'll do room. Door is a separate layer. We're actually going to increase that. We're going to push it up here. Oh wait, I need to be taking this all the way to the edge. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. It's gonna look a little awkward because it's, you know, in front of the door for now. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna call it there. I do like how this is coming along, actually. This is taking shape, so. But we're not done yet for tonight, because I am going to be working on the comic as well here. This is it. Yes, yes. Okay. So let's grab rough pencil. And I just need to figure out what the legs look like. And then I'll be able to finish this page up relatively quickly. Actually, let's bring that back. That might not be a bad place to start. Okay. So, and of course, sleeve will be a bit longer. Do that. Let's kind of figure this out. I gotta remember. Actually going to. Let's lower this. Correct. Not quite. Let's lift you and you. I really need to hit the books again and brush up on my figure drawing and anatomy and such. Actually, yeah, it probably folds back, so... well, we'll do that. And then I have the fun part, which is that the net is actually sitting across your lap. I'm actually going to put this on layer 2 because I don't want to worry about that. Is that everything? Nope, that is not everything. I might adjust that a bit. Actually, probably turn down the other line work just to make it easier on myself. Part of me is being very sloppy with this panel. Doggone, I want to get this stupid page done. This shouldn't have taken as long as it has. There's always that one page in every batch that I've done that has just been an absolute nightmare. I don't know why it happens. It's just, you know, external factors mostly probably, but still, it's so frustrating. Why did I have to have her mending a net? Why do I always have to do the... Hello, Needle Mouse. Hope you're doing well. Oh, all right. I'm actually going to lower this. We're going to take another look at this. We don't need that. Let's just see what happens when we... Let's actually, we want diamond patterns. Now, so since it's doubled up, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to as well. We're gonna do some kind of hatching techniques to kind of make it look busier. Because it wouldn't actually just be like that. It would... And then cutting across. This might look like garbage, I'm not gonna lie. But let's see. You know, we don't need that. We're just gonna go with that. I need to do her hair up as well properly. And we're gonna use this. So what's this about? Well, the scene is depicting the main character here, blind, smiling for the first time in the story. She doesn't have a whole lot to smile about, but on this particular day, she does. Because boy oh boy has she been through a lot. And if you'd like to read the story so far, down below in the description is a link to the comic so far. The long and short of it is it's a kind of experimental comic I've been working on for about 3 years. 3 years? Yeah, it's been 3 years, going on 4 now. Following this character through a world, a very strange world. And so she meets all these different characters and such. And she's being led somewhere. She doesn't fully understand why, what's going to happen when she gets there. And you as the audience are just as in the dark as she is. It's always kind of a hard story to describe because it's intentionally ambiguous, but not because there isn't something happening. It's just if I say too much, then you won't really get to follow the story for yourself. That. Hello, Peterson. Yes, CSP, my favorite, my beloved. I've been working. It's crazy to think how long I've been working in CSP. I've been, to put it in perspective, I've been working in Clip Studio Paint so long that I remember when it was called Manga Studio. That's a while now. That's going on a few years at this point. And oh boy, let me tell you, when I first worked with it, because I was coming from Photoshop, and I think I was coming from CS5. Boy, oh boy, the difference that it made. It's like, holy cow, an actual brush engine designed for artists. Wow. Say it ain't so. But yeah, for anyone interested, down below, the comic is free to read. Kind of the ultimate plan for the comic, just to bring everyone on board, is I want to do most of it and host most of it on a website for everyone to read. And so you'll get the full story. I'm planning on 5 chapters, and this is the last part of chapter 3, so we're going to be going on to chapter 4 after this. Hopefully earlier than later next year, we'll be getting to chapter 4. And then once chapter 5 is done, I plan on running a campaign for printed versions, and there will be kind of an epilogue chapter that will be in that, as well as a digital version, because in case people want it digitally, they'll be able to just buy the last part. But for those who want something a bit more physical, my hope is that I'll be able to do a printed version of it eventually. That's ultimately what I'm working towards. But yeah, so down below is a link to what's available currently. As well as stuff like my Ko-Fi, if you want to support the project, always appreciated. I don't have anything currently for supporters. I really want to do stuff for that. Because it would be really nice to have that exchange, being able to offer something for people's support and whatnot. So eventually I do want to do that. Been thinking of doing offering doodles or something like that to supporters. I have ideas. Thank you. I originally wanted to make it Clockwork Moon, but that was actually already taken up. But I'm really happy with what I landed on. I think it really kind of captures kind of what I'm going for. In fact, that idea of the clockwork moon is still technically in present, because if you look up here, that's my little moon clock that rotates every hour. Technically, it's slightly faster than an hour because I screwed it up, but I made it in After Effects, and I'm never opening that program again, so I don't care. It's on moon time. Moon time runs slightly faster. Lower gravity or whatever. Actually, lower gravity would mean it would run slower, I think. Because if you hang out around Jupiter, I think you age faster, if I'm not mistaken. Because of the higher gravity. Time is freaking weird. It's just so weird that it's like, oh yeah, time, that incorporeal thing, yeah, that can be affected by gravity of all things. Actively affects it in a measurable fashion. Like it's crazy to me that you can take two planes. This is how they figured it out, or at least like discovered that it was a thing. They took two planes and circumnavigated the Earth in opposite directions with atomic clocks timing them, and the clocks desynced more than they should have by a decent margin. It was very slight, but it was enough of a margin to be measurable. So it's like, oh, time isn't consistent. Any Thanksgiving event plans? Not really, just hanging out with family. The usual. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing family and all that. Tend to keep things pretty simple around Thanksgiving. I remember a few years back I wanted to head down south to visit some other family. Make it a bit more of a thing. Kind of actually tie it in with, at the time, this was a good number of years back, but at the time I was planning on going to something called CTN. Just like a creative, I think it stands for Creative Talent Network or something like that. I was going to go down, check that out, and then hang out with family for Thanksgiving. So maybe one of these days, because I think it's around this time that stuff like Lightbox happens and whatnot. I think that wasn't too long ago. It'd be fun to go down and do something like that, and if I could tie it in with something like Thanksgiving, that'd be awesome. Okay, this isn't the best panel, but I'm so sick and tired of looking at it that I'm just gonna move on. We're gonna call that good enough. Sometimes you just have to call a panel good enough. Am I allowed to? Yes. Because you've literally been staring at it for a week and making like no progress on it. Some panels, some pages are like that, and it's really annoying. You just need to move past it. I'm actually gonna do myself a favor and not keep this all broken up like this, because It's a nightmare to color in later. That should be more doable. This one. How about you guys? Any fun plans? Special Thanksgiving ideas for those who are celebrating. Truth be told, I also need to do his skin texture. Thank you, Woods. Appreciate it. This, in many regards, is an attempt to really draw inspiration from an artist by the name of Mobius. Now, if you go out and look his stuff up, like, make sure you're sitting down, because, like, holy crap, this stuff will knock you off your feet. That's why I say attempt. But it is a very fun style. It's kind of surprisingly difficult. But it is really interesting learning how to describe things with line. And kind of something that I've taken a liking to just naturally. I've gotten better with shape over the years, but line is definitely kind of where I tend to live. Oh, that's fine, Woods. I love getting questions and such. I've been doing, oh goodness, I 10 years, I think. 10 years? Yeah. I started in high school, so I started a little bit later than, you know, typically is like, oh, you know, I've been drawing since I was 2 years old or whatever. So I really got into it when I was around, I think it was 16, like the summer of my sophomore year. And digital art kind of really opened up the world of art to me, because paper never felt, even to this day, paper doesn't really feel comfortable, which is unfortunate because I love the look of paper. It's why I like Clip Studio Paint so much, is it gets the most natural look out of any drawing program I've used. There probably are ones that are more designed to look natural, but yeah. Hello, Wilfer. Let's see. Okay. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and add some blemishes and such. But yeah, this style tends to take a little bit longer than I would care for. That's all right though. But yeah, so I think about 10 years is what I figure. You know, I might actually, let's just real quick see what it looks like to erase everything. This might make more sense, honestly. Yeah, actually, yeah, I like that. It cleans it up and it makes more sense. Now, where's the end of that? There it is. Yeah, there we go. That looks cleaner. Nice. Truth be told, this has been a lot of work to kind of figure out, you know, a comfortable way to draw this style. And I think with this particular batch of pages, I'm finally getting comfortable with it. Let's do that. Want to get a job at Pixar Studios? Okay. It's so funny. I remember when I was in university, there was I had a really good professor who, I liked him because he was very real about everything, right? And I remember him talking about his concept, what he called the road to Pixar, right? Because he'd always get these students who, of course, you know, want to work at Pixar because, you know, who doesn't want to work at Pixar, right? And basically, kind of the way he illustrated it, I guess I can kind of illustrate it, is, you know, everyone expects, you know, you have something like uni, right? And you work really hard or whatever at university, and you hope to go straight over to good old Pixar, right? But so often that isn't how it happens, right? Instead, the way you illustrate it is, it's gonna look something like this. So, which, you know, on one hand, it's like, oh, well, that's disappointing because I want to work at Pixar. But here's the other thing, you know, you never know where this is going to take you, right? Personally, I've never really myself been interested in working at Pixar. I don't think it would be for me. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of really exciting stuff, especially right now. What's going on? There's a lot of really exciting stuff going on out there. So the best thing to do for yourself, I would say, is, you know, it's always good to have a goal, right? To work towards something, to really motivate you and everything like that. But at the same time, you know, don't be afraid to see what else is out there. Don't kind of don't work for the dream, let the dream work for you, I guess. I remember there was another really good video by is it Tanako Pantoja? I think that's how you pronounce it. He makes really good videos, actually, for any aspiring artists. He did a video kind of on that note where he talked about, you know, the idea of wanting to be such and such animator or work for a specific studio and whatnot. And kind of the thing he mentioned was, you know, animation is a kind of a revolving door, especially in this day and age. And so you got to be kind of careful wanting to just work at a single studio, because if you put all of yourself into that, you know, you may very well get it, but for how long, right? So it's good to look beyond, you know, the horizon you kind of set for yourself, I think. You may get a chance to work at Pixar for a little while, right? And that'll be awesome, and you'll do cool stuff. But then, you know, there's always more. So don't be afraid of what's more out there. I'm really mostly excited about the prospect of independent animation and doing stuff in that regard. I've had a chance to do a little bit. I managed to land working on a pilot on YouTube and had a lot of fun working on that, actually. Would love to do more of that, honestly. But those opportunities are few and far between in a lot of regards. Especially when you're, you know, trying to pay rent and such. So it's all about seeing what you can find. Honestly, ultimately, I would love to be able to sell my own work. Oh, nice. As a side, speaking of pilots, I just want to... I feel like I have to get this off my chest. If you make an episode 1, don't call it pilot. A pilot, that's not what a pilot is. A pilot is a prospective episode that's not attached. It's a pitch, right? It's always, you know, I see like this, oh, it's a new pilot comes out on YouTube and it's literally just their episode 1. They're going to make episode 2. Just call it episode 1, please. Honestly, though, if you're looking to just make your own YouTube series, you know, who needs Pixar, right? Just make it happen, right? I think that's the most powerful thing that we have nowadays is we don't need to rely on some big name studio to be able to get the chance to do things, right? That's the really exciting part in my book. I mean, ultimately, it's not like that big of a deal if you call it a pilot or whatever, but it just is it's always so funny. I always see that, and I just think to myself, oh, this isn't a pilot. This is just episode 1. You're making it. Gonna get going. All right, catch you later. Have a good one. Oh, we went through that entire thing. Let's see. I'm gonna jump over to... Let's see if we just type here. We're gonna jump over to some chiptune here. I could use a little more energy, something with a little bit more energy. That was maybe a bit much, but all right. Let's see. What was I saying? Yeah, as far as the whole pilot thing, like, it's not a big deal or anything like that, but it is just kind of funny. Just call it episode 1 and call it a day. Pilot makes, I don't know, to me, pilot makes it sound like you're not sure if it's going to get an episode 2. You know what I mean? Like you're going to shop it around and show it to investors or whoever, right? Actually, I don't wanna. Oh cow, who is this? This is kind of rad. Mr. Asya, Pico Pico Adventure. Okay. Cool stuff. That actually reminds me, I do have ideas for quote unquote series that I want to do. Not really series, but like little character things and such that I really want to get around to doing. I mean, truth be told, the previous piece that I was working on. Oh, I know this one. Oh, come on. This piece is for one of those kind of skit idea things. We're actually gonna take away this whole ring here. And we're gonna raise this up. That. Sometimes I wish I was a little less creative. Sometimes I wish I could do just simpler things. But this piece, eventually what I want to do with this piece is have it, like I mentioned at the beginning, is all of these characters and such are going to be like cut out, and I'm going to animate everything slightly. So like flicker on the TV and do some post-processing on him, because he's actually in, like, this is his actual like corporeal body. This is kind of a weird wisp. It's called his shade, I guess. Rather, that's what he'll eventually be called. But and then the kind of dream door, like literally that's what it is. But yeah, so I want to have it kind of have a neat atmosphere to it. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of the challenging part. Is actually I want to keep that above that. You know, it's funny, the more I think about this whole process, the weirder it gets. Because what this is, so to give some context, and none of this is really explained, but you can kind of figure it out. This guy here, the Fisher, also called the Rook, he's basically a homunculus, or more accurately a golem, but more or less like in that same vein. And he'll grow other golems. Basically, he'll build other golems and then kind of set them on their way, and that's what's going on here. And then in the second page as well, that's what's happening. So it's kind of this form of continuation, if you will. But it's just kind of this side hobby thing. Because their perception of life is so different. They aren't alive in the same way, so it has kind of this different connotation to them. I want to check the previous page as well here. Oh wait, this is another. Oh, it's literally right here. Okay. Maybe the arm isn't that long. Kind of funny. I find that the way I quote unquote world build is I kind of don't. I just kind of think about, like, if I have a character in mind, my first concept is, okay, well, what do they, like, they exist in the world, right? What do they do in that world? Like, why do they do it, you know? I try to take a very kind of grounded approach to conceiving of like what their whole like premise is, what a character's premise is. Because a lot of times in I don't know, stories and world building stuff, it feels very like surface level, you know? Like it's like, oh, this would look cool, right? But it's like, okay, well, how does that, you know, function, I guess? Hey, Taxi, long time no see. Always happy to see you. Hope you're doing well. Like that's also like why I have a hard time doing like really elaborate character designs and such. Because the entire time I'm drawing a character, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, for one thing, I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to draw all this crap? I'm kind of lazy when it comes to character drawing. Like, I just want them to be like easy to draw for the most part. Let's see. Why do I have 2 streams at once? Because I am. I have found the secret to astral projection. No, it's literally just for people who have a vertical layout and people who have a horizontal layout or a desktop layout. Because the vertical layout shows up in people's shorts feeds and such. So, haha! I've tricked them all into watching me stream. It depends. Like, for example, like, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, you might be asking the wrong person as far as naming characters. Like, for example, I named this character Blind because she's blind at the beginning of the story. And this guy is called the Fisher because he fishes in the desert, right? Then again, this story is a little bit of an exception because there's thematic reasons as to why they don't have names. Technically, he's also called the Rook. So depending on the story, it's either a thematic thing or it's what I feel like reflects the character I want to share. Actually, let me take a quick little break, and I'll show you a character. I've shared this character before, but maybe this will kind of help you here. I need to find. Wow, I've not done any creatures artwork, have I? Wow. Well, let's go. Let's just go here. What's a decent one? All of these are old. I'll just do the first one I drew. So this character is named Charlie, right? And keep in mind, this is really old art. This is like 8 years ago I drew this. Good grief. Oh my gosh. I still like it. I still like how the sketch came out. But the reason I called him Charlie was because I wanted, when you hear his name, I wanted you to think of a young boy. I wanted you to think of... I wanted a very, like, innocent name, basically, right? Something that's very, like... juvenile in a sense. So I thought about like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and stuff like that, where you have this very like innocent boy and whatnot. And so that's kind of the feeling that I wanted to elicit from the character. And so that's why I chose that name. Was it had a simplicity to it. It had a feel to the character that I was going for. You're trying to bonk because he fell on his head as a child and has a minor head injury. Shout outs to everyone who played was it just called Bonk? Or Super Bonk or whatever back in the day? You think Charlie bit you? Well, even stuff like that. It has a like it's kind of a cultural thing, I would say, right? The name kind of has a image, right? Now, obviously, there's people in the real world who are named Charlie, and they may or may not be like that, right? But there's something kind of just inherent to that name that gave a sense of the character I wanted it to. This kind of lost boy, right? This kind of just lost and scared child kind of feel or whatever. As well as it being a very human name for a very, like, obviously he's not strictly human. He is, but he's obviously been turned into something else. Favorite name for OC is Lucia. Lucia. I always think that makes me think of Lufia in the Fortress of Evil or whatever it's called. But yeah, that's kind of what I think about when I think about characters. There's another character in that story named David, who, and I chose the name David as well very intentionally because to me David has this notion of kind of leader. It's kind of a stronger name than something like Charlie. It's more like I don't know. You kind of has the sense of trust to it. And again, it's very human, which that's a big theme as far as that story goes, is, what makes you human. And so I don't know. Well, we're gonna give this a shot. All right. And so that's what really kind of goes into naming conventions for me, is I try to think about what will reflect the character the best and what will reflect the theme that I'm kind of going for with them. I'm trying to think of other. I see, that's the thing. I don't actually really think too hard about names of characters and such. I have another story called The Lantern Folk, which is much the same with this story, where you don't actually ever know their names. You only know kind of what they sort of represent, or some kind of facet of themselves. They have names, like especially the human, at least the humans do, but it's meant to kind of feel like folklore. And so you have characters like the Keeper, who keeps the woods and makes sure that everything's kind of going smoothly around them. You have the Lurker, the giant fish that lives in the lake, and just kind of hangs out around there. You have you have the Sisters 3, that's what they're referred to as, but they are the original matriarchs, actually, of the Lantern Folk. I actually don't know if they're referred... I think I had something else they were referred to. But yeah, so... and the themes of that story are the ideas of, you know, telling a story, you know, what does it look like to tell a good story, and you know, the importance of that, and it kind of plays off of, you know, ideas of folklore and whatnot. Let's see. But yeah, names are typically kind of the last thing I think of. Let's turn that on. It's in a strange way, like, that's kind of a big part of my art philosophy. Is I think a lot of people tend to put a lot of stake in the superficial. You know, what's the name of the character? How do I find my art style? Things like that, right? And that's very natural, right? Especially when you're starting out. But what I find is that that's usually like the least important stuff to think about. And so I like to think about, I like to get the really important stuff, like what makes this character who they are, or like what's going to happen to them, stuff like that. Like, how are they going to change, especially that one, like how they're going to change from beginning to end of the story. And once I have that figured out, it's a lot easier to kind of think about names and such like that. And the other factor is, you know, I tend to make very human characters, even when they're not human. And so, you know, humans aren't necessarily named, at least not initially, after something, right? You know, usually when someone names their kid, it's because they like the name, you know? And so I guess approaching, especially for the more mundane characters, or characters who might be more, just, you know, your average Joe or what have you, I like to approach it that way. Is, well, what would, you know, what would their parents have liked in a name, basically, right? And so then you have to understand the personality of the parents, right? Give them the backstory, like Guts from this. Oof, oof. I don't tend to make things that dramatic or disturbing. Honestly, funny enough, probably the most disturbing story I have is the one that Charlie's from, because, you know, experimenting on children is pretty dark, you know. So yeah, that was dark. But at the same time, I don't want it to be like abysmal, you know. I want it to be honest, but I want it to also be not like pleasing in the sense that like you like what's happening, but enjoyable in the sense that it's like a satisfying story. It's not gonna just like give you an existential crisis and leave you to pick up the pieces, you know. I tend to be more hopeful in my stories. I can't. Does he have 6 fingers? I think he does. Probably does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. There we go. I actually don't know necessarily why this guy was given 6 fingers, because the rook has 6 fingers. Why he was built that way. It might have something to do with grip strength, because he's out like in the desert, like hunting these fish, right? That's what they do. They're these weird like root monster fish things. So it might just be to give him kind of an edge on killing those things. I don't really know. I mean, he's stupid strong. Like, this guy's... The rook is friggin' strong. And you get a sense of that in this chapter. In this batch of pages, I should say. Something like that. It took me a long time. I feel like I'm just starting to get comfortable drawing hands. Once you figure it out, they're a lot of fun, but it does take a lot of effort. I will say, if you want to do drawing, like for realsies and all that, don't shy away from them. Keep drawing them. Draw terrible hands. Draw terrible hands all day. Drawing terrible hands is going to do you better than drawing no hands, right? Draw them terrible hands and keep working at it. And okay, now I'm at a cross. Hold on. I need to actually think about whether I want to. Because if I do that, hold on. Whatever. We'll just go with this. Besides, it'll give more space for the hand anyway. I actually might shrink the legs up though, because he actually has, like, the golems actually do have relatively short legs compared to the rest of their bodies. Yeah, kind of. Actually, no, kind of. Hold on. Let me try something. That's actually not really all that true. They actually have fairly short torsos. It's just his pants kind of are low cut, so it makes it look like it. To give a little bit of insight into hands, though, so there's kind of three major shapes that I play with when I'm working with hands. The first is this. Obviously, this is the knuckle, like the tops of the knuckles. So like here's where the knuckles would be, right? And this is kind of like your base. This is kind of where I usually tend to start for when I'm doing, especially if it's a hand like facing forward, right? And then the second shape is actually, funny enough, hands are actually in the shape of a pentagon. So you have like an offset pentagon. And this is something I picked up by Jim Lee. He's a really good illustrator, so you know his stuff is good. But he kind of explained that, yeah, it's kind of a pentagon, where you have edge 1, edge 2, edge 3, and edge 4 and 5, right? So that's kind of what makes the palm. And then you have for the fingers, what I tend to do is, you know, it's easy because you have 3 digits to every finger. That's actually what this is referred to as. Each individual section is actually a digit. And what I tend to do is actually combine the last 2 digits together, because if you look at the finger, it's actually fairly smooth. So unless you're very specifically intending for the finger to be crooked, which if someone's pointing, it's not going to be, right? But if not, then I just combine it into one shape. I do later go back in and obviously add the digit. But then from there, the other thing to think about it as is, so the bone in the finger is at the top. So that's where your hard surface is, right? So you can think of the top as being like the straightest part of the finger, while the lower part is where all the muscle and tissue is, right? So it's going to be more like rounded, because it's obviously like fattier, right? Has more give because it needs to, so that your finger can actually curl. And of course, depending on the severity of that curl, that'll determine how much how much there is in terms of the folds and stuff like that. But that's kind of basic anatomy stuff there. But yeah, so basically the top is hard to a finger, the bottom is soft, so you want that as nice curves. And then let's see if I can actually keep this going here. Actually, I need to. And then the other thing that kind of helps is obviously their cylinders, right? So you don't want to think of the hand as being flat. A lot of times, you know, when you draw a hand starting out, you're thinking, oh, flat fingers, right? Even if you put all the little details, it's like, oh, this is, I'm thinking of the hand as being very flat. And that's not really what you want to do, right? You don't want to be thinking, oh, 2-dimensional, right? Like paper cutouts, right? Kind of thing. You want to be thinking with volume. You want to be thinking, okay, it's like fingers, it's like a cylinder. And that way we kind of understand, okay, there's the hard surface, there's the soft surface underneath, la-da-da. And same with the pinky. Actually, that's a huge pinky. You want to be thinking with the volume. And then, of course, same with the palm. And even the thumb, right? And so you want to be thinking of drawing the hand in the same capacity as drawing an entire person, right? It's all of its own anatomy, right? It has form and shape, just like the body does, right? You know, it's just kind of easy when you're, you know, drawing the person and all that kind of stuff to be like, hand. Like, oops. Just UPA it. Yeah, there we go. That's a hand, you know. Which you can do if you're going for like a simpler style and whatnot, but you should also be working towards drawing more meaty hands because they're fun. Drawing hands is fun. It's just a little tricky, right? Okay, so now speaking of hands, funny enough, this will be an illustration. Watch me completely fail at this, by the way, because this guy's hands are kind of weird, and this angle is gonna be this angle. So I'm thinking about how the wrist connects right now. And kind of the way the skin folds up. Oh, no problem. No, I love teaching this stuff, so any chance I get, it's always a good time. But yeah, that's a little bit of a crash course for you. Like I said, just keep working at it. And one thing that'll really help that isn't obvious is oh shoot, I missed your message there, Taxi. I was a little distracted. I've not watched Math Washing. I've heard of it. I've seen it around, but I've not really looked into it. I think I watched someone play the demo of it a while back, but yeah. All right. Catch you later there, Taxi. Have a good one. And happy Thanksgiving, man. Yeah. Appreciate you stopping by. It's always good. But the thing that'll really help just your art in general is learning perspective. Learning how to draw boxes and shapes and various things like cylinders, right? In space. Or, like I said, cubes. And things like that. That'll help a whole lot. Hey, Guilty, how's it going? Or even learning how to, this one will be really helpful, learning how to shade spheres. So learning how to make something look like a shape, even when it doesn't have any hard edges. That's a very useful one. What's up, Johnson? Hope you're doing good. Let's see. I'm all right. I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. It was a rough last week, but this week so far is a bit better. Haven't gotten a lot of work, which is a little bit concerning, but I'll figure that out. I'll sort that out. Really, I need to open up the commissions and get a commission sheet going and start hunting for those, because I think that'd be really good. Let's see here. Let's see. I was really hoping to have 6 pages done this month. I do not think that's going to happen. Which more than likely means I'm going to miss my goal next month of having the rest of the pages done. Unless I like somehow really start getting some pages done, but that's all right. It'll work out. Just need to start drawing 10 minutes a day. Yeah. Honestly, just carry like a sketchbook around or whatever. That's what I did in high school. Was I carried around a sketchbook, and when I had some downtime and stuff like that, I just sit there and doodle. Doesn't have to be anything special. It's actually why I went out of my way to get an iPad as well, because my previous work, I had Procreate on an iPad, and I got into the habit of really just doodling, which was great for my ability to just doodle. Like that was so nice. It actually is really important, I think, if you want to really get into something, to have easy access to it as much as you can, like everywhere you go. Drawing very much is that case. And of course, the idea of immersion into something. That's always the case, right? I have a bunch of instruments that are sitting out. Heck, my poor flute. Oh my word, I picked it up the other day, and of course it's plated silver, right? And of course, it being plated silver, it's started to not corrode but blemish, because it's silver, right? I really need to find a good way to treat it. But yeah, it sits there, right? And that one's a little tough because I live in a house full of neighbors, so I'm kind of self-conscious about, you know, playing a decently noisy instrument, right? So I don't really tend to pick it up, but I need to, right? It's not such a big deal that, like, I can't play it, right? Honestly, I'm not going to be playing it at, like, 2 in the morning. It's been a long time since I played flute, and I miss it. I miss playing it. I picked it up the other day and was messing around and was getting back into it. It was really fun. And I want to do more like musical stuff for the channel and stuff like that. It's about the right size for the hand. Yeah, it's kind of a weird looking hand, but he has weird looking hands. Like this guy, he doesn't have fingernails, you know? He is weird. All right. Okay, one more hand, and this one should be a little bit easier, honestly. So I plan on... Acoustic streams need to be cleaned 5 years ago. Wow. They look like now. Yeah. There's always so many things, right? I do play a lot of like keyboard and stuff like that. I have my whole synth and... Actually, oh yeah, that's the other weird thing about his hands. He actually has a third digit in his thumb. This guy's weird. What was up there? Yeah, it would be down here, actually. So I'm actually going to put that in. There we go. But, so that's mostly my kind of musical fix. is doing keyboards and electric organ and things like that. Hold on, I want to actually do this properly. This thumb might be a little too big, actually. Do that, and then have it connect right there. And have it a little smoother, because the thing about him is, you know, his hands are like clay, so they don't actually like respond the same way when they're folded. They are more rigid. They're more stiff. It's kind of that's the interesting and kind of fun thing about this character, is like getting to think about how, like, you know, him being made out of clay affects the way like his skin interacts and stuff like that. That off, turn that off. Yeah, we'll go with that. All right. Like this. I just realized I'm putting that on the wrong layer. Frick. Well. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, I totally... Wait. What are you... Oh, you're... Oh. Oh. Well, I actually like that. Okay, well, I won't worry about that then. But, I will worry about this. Worst feeling ever? Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. That's not a good prize. Oh, in regards to the layer thing. Truth be told, like, I actually have found a lot of really good methods for the most part of dealing with stuffing on the wrong layer. So it's been a long time since I've actually really felt like devastated by a wrong layer moment. It's mostly just a, oh, okay, well, that'll make my job slightly more inconvenient. I always kind of like giving myself the opportunity to break panels like this. It's super fun. Oh wait, yeah, I can. There we go. Because it just kind of gives a cool effect. Like there's dimensionality. Oh Jesus, this music is making me move too quickly. I have to be really careful listening to like high energy stuff when I'm drawing like this. Good thing is that it's just kind of there's really rough lines and such. Now, let me. Yeah, like that. And yeah, that's correct. Okay. And we're going to give it a bit more dimension. Something like that. Okay. I'm going to... actually, I'm gonna put another kind of blemish here, but I'm actually gonna go here, and I'm gonna... Because he has like these like scars across his fingers and such. And since it's really close up on his hands, I'm actually gonna go out of my way to put that in. And even on his wrist here. Yeah, he's an old head. He's been around the block once or twice. I'll go with that. Okay. Am I gonna call it there? Let's do just one more little thing. Like that. And he can be just like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, finally. Oh my gosh, I've been looking at this page way too long. See, we've been going for almost 3 hours. Oh my gosh, man. I am so glad I found adaptive bitrate, because otherwise I'm pretty sure the stream would be just straight up unwatchable. Hopefully it looks a lot better than it has in the past. And it should work no matter what now. I'm not dropping frames, which is nice. It'll probably dip in quality and whatnot, but nothing I can do about that apparently. But anyway, Yeah, this was a good stream. This was a really good stream. I really appreciate everyone stopping by and keeping me company while working on this. If you haven't subscribed yet, what you waiting for? I'd really appreciate it. And there's going to be more streams coming. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more art stuff in general coming. If I can actually friggin' get on top of it with the time I have and whatnot. I've been sitting on things I need to release and stuff I need to edit. Anyway, that all being said, a lot more coming, of course, primarily the streams. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much again for stopping by, coming through, and hanging out. I will be back on Thursday. We are going to be working, we'll probably be working on, well, actually, no, maybe not Thursday. Thursday is Thanksgiving. So probably not Thanksgiving. I imagine everyone's going to be doing stuff with their friends and family and all that kind of stuff. So have yourselves a good Thanksgiving then. I might consider streaming on a different day than like Friday, or maybe, I don't know about tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow, but maybe Friday. We'll see. If not either of those days, then next week, Tuesday, I will be streaming. So if you want to catch that, be sure to subscribe and do all that stuff. You've heard it all before. But yeah. Anyway, thanks again, guys, for stopping by. Really happy with how this is coming out. Actually, really happy with how this is coming out as well. So I'll keep working on this on and off as well. Don't know when it's going to be done, but it'll be done at some point, and it'll be fun. That all being said, it is time to end. Take care. Have a good Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'll see you later. Goodbye.